The Buddha's profound insight that the root of sorrow is desire holds timeless relevance in every age and culture. From the moment of birth, human beings are driven by countless desires for wealth, love, recognition, comfort, and success. These desires seem natural, even necessary, yet they are also the very seeds of suffering. According to the Buddha, it is not the mere existence of desires that binds us, but our attachment to them, our relentless craving for what we do not have, and our fear of losing what we already possess. This constant struggle keeps the mind restless and dissatisfied, perpetually swinging between hope and disappointment. When we understand this truth deeply, life begins to transform. We start to see that external achievements or possessions can never bring lasting happiness because they are impermanent. Everything we chase, beauty, fame, relationships, or material success, eventually fades away, and when it does, sorrow follows. The Buddha's teaching invites us to shift our focus inward, to recognize desire as a fleeting mental state rather than a command we must obey. Through mindfulness and meditation, one learns to observe these desires without clinging to them, letting them rise and fall like waves in the ocean of awareness. This detachment is not indifference, but liberation, a freedom that allows us to engage with life fully without being enslaved by it. When we realize that peace does not depend on external circumstances but on inner clarity, we begin to walk the path of wisdom. Compassion naturally arises, for we see that others too suffer under the weight of their own desires. By freeing ourselves from this endless cycle of craving and aversion, we open the door to serenity, kindness, and true understanding. The Buddha's message is not about renouncing life, but about living it with awareness, simplicity, and balance. When the fire of desire cools, the heart becomes light. Joy is no longer something to be found outside, but something that radiates from within. Thus, the moment we truly grasp that desire is the root of sorrow, the path before us changes. We stop running after illusions and start walking toward truth. Life, once filled with restlessness, becomes a journey of peace and purpose. The Buddha's realization was not merely a philosophical idea, but a living experience, one that continues to guide millions toward freedom from suffering. To understand the nature of desire is to understand the nature of life itself, and in that understanding, sorrow dissolves, revealing the eternal stillness of the awakened mind. When one truly begins to understand that the root of sorrow lies in desire, a new awareness blossoms within the heart, an awareness that marks the beginning of true freedom. The Buddha taught that all human suffering springs from tanha, or craving, and that liberation from suffering comes only through the cessation of this craving. Yet this cessation does not mean suppression or denial. It is not a command to destroy desire through force, but an invitation to see its nature clearly. When we look deeply into our desires, we realize that they arise from a sense of incompleteness, a belief that we are not enough, that something outside ourselves must fill the void within. But the truth is, this void is an illusion. The more we chase after external satisfaction, the more the illusion deepens, and the cycle of craving and sorrow continues endlessly. Real transformation begins when we stop seeking fulfillment in things that are impermanent and turn our attention inward to the source of awareness itself. In that stillness, we discover that joy and peace were never absent. They were only hidden beneath the noise of our desires. The Buddha's path, the Noble Eightfold Path, offers a practical way to live this understanding. It guides us to cultivate right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration, each step leading us closer to the freedom that comes from inner balance. Mindfulness teaches us to be fully present in each moment, to observe our thoughts and emotions without judgment. When we practice this, we begin to see desire as a passing visitor rather than a master commanding our actions. Slowly, the chains of attachment loosen, and a gentle detachment takes root. A detachment born not from coldness, but from wisdom. This wisdom allows us to love without clinging, to act without greed, and to live without fear. The person who once suffered from constant dissatisfaction now experiences contentment in simplicity. Every moment, whether pleasant or painful, becomes an opportunity for insight. When desire fades, compassion flourishes. We begin to understand others' struggles as reflections of our own, and a natural empathy arises. The Buddha's enlightenment was not an escape from the world, but an awakening within it, a realization that peace and joy exist in the heart of every being. By freeing ourselves from the tyranny of craving, we create space for gratitude, kindness, and deep understanding. The true wealth of life is not found in possessions or status, but in the serenity of a mind that desires nothing and fears nothing. In this serenity, the storms of sorrow subside, and life reveals its profound beauty. Thus, the journey from desire to freedom is not just a spiritual path, it is the art of living consciously. When we truly grasp that desire is the root of sorrow, we awaken to a boundless peace that no external circumstance can ever shake. As one moves deeper along the path of understanding, the realization that desire is the root of sorrow begins to reshape every aspect of life. What once seemed so important, wealth, fame, pleasure, and approval, starts to lose its grip on the heart. The individual no longer measures happiness by external achievements, but by inner stillness and clarity. The Buddha's message becomes not just a teaching, but a lived experience. The mind that was once restless like a storm-tossed sea gradually becomes calm and radiant, reflecting truth as clearly as a still lake mirrors the moon. In that calm, one discovers that the essence of life has never been about acquiring or achieving, but about being. When desire fades, the compulsive need to control outcomes, to force things according to personal wishes, also fades. Life begins to flow naturally, effortlessly, guided by wisdom rather than by craving. This is the beginning of true peace, a peace untouched by external change, a peace born of deep understanding. To live without attachment does not mean to withdraw from the world or renounce all pleasures. It means to enjoy the beauty of life without clinging to it. The enlightened person can appreciate a flower's fragrance, the warmth of friendship, or the joy of creativity, yet remains free when these experiences pass away. This freedom is not cold detachment, it is the highest form of love. When one loves without attachment, love becomes pure compassion, unconditional, selfless, and boundless. This love is rooted not in need, but in understanding. The Buddha's wisdom teaches us that when the illusion of I and mine dissolves, we realize that all beings are interconnected, that every life breathes in harmony with the universe. Such realization brings an end to the loneliness that drives much of human desire. The seeker discovers that they were never incomplete. The whole cosmos already resides within their consciousness. In everyday life, this understanding transforms how one works, speaks, and relates to others. Anger gives way to patience, greed gives way to generosity, and fear gives way to trust. The burdens of competition and comparison fall away, replaced by a quiet joy in simply being alive. The awakened person walks through the same world as everyone else, but sees it with new eyes, eyes unclouded by craving or aversion. Each moment becomes sacred, each act an expression of mindfulness and love. The journey that began with the recognition of sorrow ends in the discovery of unshakable peace. The Buddha's teaching is not merely a philosophy to be studied, but a living truth to be realized. When we truly understand that the root of sorrow is desire, and when we let go of that desire with wisdom and compassion, we awaken to a freedom that no external force can disturb. A freedom that is, in essence, the awakening of true peace. When the truth of desire's role in sorrow becomes firmly rooted in one's understanding, life begins to undergo a profound transformation from within. The chains that once bound the mind, craving, attachment, jealousy, and fear, begin to fall away one by one. The Buddha taught that liberation, nirvana, is not a distant goal to be achieved after death, but a living reality that can be experienced in this very life through the purification of the mind. To walk this path is to become aware of every thought, every emotion, every impulse, and to see how they arise and fade away like waves on the ocean's surface. In this awareness, we begin to recognize the impermanence of all things. Every joy, every sorrow, every possession, every relationship, all are transient. When we truly see this impermanence, the grasping nature of the mind starts to loosen, and a quiet wisdom dawns. We realize that clinging to what changes only invites pain, while accepting change brings serenity. This insight leads to a new way of living, one that is guided not by reaction, but by understanding. The Buddha's teaching on mindfulness becomes a practical compass for navigating the complexities of daily life. By observing the mind without judgment, we learn to respond to situations with clarity instead of impulse. Anger loses its power when seen in the light of awareness. Desire weakens when understood as a fleeting sensation. Gradually, life becomes simpler, lighter, and more harmonious. We begin to act out of compassion rather than self-interest, because we see that all beings share the same struggle, the same longing for happiness, the same suffering born of desire. In this realization, empathy blossoms naturally. We no longer seek happiness at the expense of others, for we know that true happiness arises only when the heart is free of selfish craving. This transformation is not achieved overnight. It requires patience, discipline, and deep introspection. Meditation becomes the tool through which the inner world is cleansed. In silence, we learn to face ourselves, our fears, our attachments, our illusions, and gradually they dissolve in the light of awareness. The mind becomes steady and luminous, untouched by the turmoil of the outer world. Even in moments of loss or challenge, the awakened one remains at peace, for they no longer resist the flow of life. They understand that every experience, whether pleasant or painful, is an opportunity for growth and wisdom. This is the essence of true liberation, not escape, but awakening, not withdrawal, but deep participation in life with complete awareness. When desire no longer dictates our existence, life becomes a song of balance, compassion, and truth. In this awakened state, sorrow loses its meaning, for the one who has seen through desire stands free, radiant, fearless, and at peace with all that is. As the journey of understanding draws to its conclusion, the essence of the Buddha's message shines ever brighter. The realization that the root of all sorrow is desire is not a call to renounce life, but to awaken within it. When this truth is deeply understood, a great inner revolution begins. The endless chase for satisfaction in the outer world gives way to a deep stillness within. We discover that peace was never lost. It was only hidden beneath the restless waves of craving and fear. The Buddha's wisdom reminds us that every moment offers a chance for liberation. We do not need to wait for perfect circumstances or an ideal future to find happiness. True joy arises here and now in the quiet acceptance of what is. Life remains the same on the outside. There will still be change, success, loss, and uncertainty, but the awakened heart faces them all with calm courage. This transformation does not make one indifferent. Rather, it fills one with boundless compassion. The one who has freed themselves from desire sees the suffering of others and becomes a source of light for them. Such a person gives without expecting, loves without clinging, and lives without fear. The journey toward freedom is not without struggle. Old habits of attachment may return, and the mind may resist letting go. Yet each moment of awareness, each breath taken in mindfulness, moves us closer to liberation. The Buddha's path is one of gentle persistence, not a race, but a practice of returning, again and again, to the present moment with kindness and clarity. Every time we recognize desire and choose peace instead of craving, we take one step closer to awakening. Gradually, the mind becomes luminous, like a lamp that no wind can extinguish. This light of awareness dispels the darkness of ignorance and reveals the beauty that was always present. We realize that happiness does not depend on external gain or loss, but on inner balance. In that moment, sorrow loses its hold, and life becomes a celebration of truth and compassion. Let this understanding be the seed of your awakening. Do not look for happiness in the fleeting shadows of the world. Look within, where peace waits patiently to be discovered. Every challenge you face, every pain you endure, can become your teacher if you meet it with awareness. When you free yourself from the grip of desire, you are no longer a prisoner of circumstance. You become the master of your own mind. Remember, even a single moment of true mindfulness can transform an entire life. Walk this path with courage, patience, and love. The same light that guided the Buddha to enlightenment lives within you too. Trust it, nourish it. Let it shine through your thoughts, your words, and your actions. And as you walk gently upon this earth, may your awakened heart become a beacon of peace for all beings.